Unwilling or unable to cheat? Let's talk about the Denmark tax experiment. We all kind of idolize developed nations, right? We assume they just have superior morals, or maybe they're just better citizens. Well, the data is about to completely crush that myth. Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're unpacking a groundbreaking study that literally rewrites human honesty, because it turns out your morality has almost absolutely nothing to do with paying taxes.
Section 1. High morals or no choice.
So why don't people evade taxes? Forget culture. Forget patriotism. It's the ultimate question of human nature, right? When nobody is seemingly watching, why do millions of people willingly hand over their hard-earned cash? For years, experts just chalked it up to civic duty. They assumed we could cheat, but we just chose not to. Well, if you believe we're naturally wired to be good, prepare for a brutal reality check.
Boom. Here's the hard truth. Taxpayers aren't unwilling to cheat. They are unable. The system has just made it mathematically impossible for them to do so. Think about it. You don't pay taxes because you're some kind of saint. You pay them because you're trapped.
Section 2. Denmark's 40,000-person hardcore experiment.
To actually prove this, economists teamed up with the Danish government to execute one of the most ruthless, hardcore field experiments in history. No lab simulations here. Real people, real money. Over 40,000 people became unwitting lab rats in a massive test of honesty versus opportunity. Half of them got a brutal, unannounced, 100% comprehensive audit. Every single penny was scrutinized. The other half? Left completely alone, zero audits. Then, the next year, they scrambled the groups and sent out threat letters. It was basically the perfect trap to observe human greed.
And this rigorous setup left absolutely nowhere for the biases or the excuses to hide. By randomizing these groups, the researchers stripped away every single confounding variable. It wasn't about who was rich, poor, rural, or urban. No, this was a pure, isolated, scientific test of human temptation. Section 3. Data slap, the weakness of human nature.
Okay, now let's look at the actual data. And seriously, prepare to have your faith in human nature severely tested. In Denmark, an overwhelming 95% of income is automatically reported by banks and employers. It's third-party data. The government already knows your income before you even file. Only 5% is self-reported, things like freelance cash or odd jobs.
But here is the ultimate slap in the face. Look at the evasion rate. When the system reports the income for you, there's virtually zero cheating. We're talking just 0.3%. But the exact moment people report their own income, boom, evasion absolutely explodes to 41.6%. I mean, when the bank reports, everyone is a perfect angel. When you self-report, almost half become criminals. Like I said, morality has nothing to do with it.
Give someone the opportunity to cheat without a paper trail, and they will absolutely take it. The data shows a brutal reality. As the share of self-reported income goes up, the fraction of income evaded shoots right up with it. It's an undeniable correlation. Turns out, we are really only as honest as our lack of options forces us to be.
And honestly, it gets worse. When people do cheat, they don't hold back. They don't just shave a little off the top. The data reveals a massive spike where evaders try to hide a full 100% of their untraceable income. If they think the government can't see it, they erase it entirely. Zero partial guilt, just pure, calculated evasion.
Section 4. The true impact of marginal tax rates.
Now you might be wondering, wait a minute, Denmark has astronomical taxes, right? Hitting over 60%. Surely that extreme burden is just forcing honest people to cheat just to survive. Well, to test that excuse, we have to separate illegal evasion from legal avoidance. One is a crime, literally hiding your income entirely. The other is just playing by the rules, using legal loopholes and deductions to lower your bill.
The data reveals this totally fascinating behavior. Taxpayers actually bunch their income right before a major tax rate jump. They actively adjust their earnings to avoid high taxes. But here is the real kicker. Even after intense, invasive audits, that bunching behavior remained. The audits proved this maneuvering is completely legal avoidance. It is not criminal evasion.
So the data doesn't lie. High taxes do not create criminals. High taxes just make people hire better accountants to find legal loopholes. What actually creates criminals is a lack of systemic oversight. Basically, if the money isn't traced, it gets stolen. It really is that simple.
Section 5. The power of a threat letter.
So what do we do if morals won't stop the 41% who are happily cheating and lowering taxes won't stop them? What will? Well, the researchers tested pure, unadulterated fear. The government sent randomly selected groups a terrifyingly polite letter. One group was told there was a 50% chance of being audited. Another group, a 100% guaranteed audit. Just a little whisper over the shoulder saying, hey, we're watching you.
And man, the deterrence effect was immediate and it was massive. When people actually believed they would be caught, their self-reported income magically and drastically increased. People were literally rushing to correct their tax returns before the deadline. Fear works. The honest taxpayer only really appeared when the threat of punishment was absolutely real.
Section 6. Never test human nature.
Which brings us to the ultimate uncomfortable conclusion of this explainer. We really have to stop romanticizing tax compliance. High compliance isn't a triumph of culture, it's a triumph of third-party data tracking. And crucially, keep in mind, this experiment has massive blind spots. It only caught the detectable cheating, the true limits of human greed in the pure cash economy, under-the-table exchanges, and shadowy offshore accounts. Those remain completely untracked. The reality in the dark is likely much, much worse.
So I want to leave you with this final thought. We need to stop relying on high morals. If all your income was entirely self-reported, and you knew for an absolute fact that no one was checking, would you be completely honest? The data says probably not. If you want to build an honest society, you cannot rely on human nature. You literally have to build a system where cheating is mathematically impossible. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I hope this completely changed how you look at the world.